Hello, everybody. There we are. Woo! Woo! How are we today? I'm going to put the light up instead of swinging it around town. How is everyone this fine evening? Oh, goodness. This is either my second to last or last stream. Hello, Papa Ro. Either my second to last or last stream in this laptop setup. So don't worry, we'll have a proper working microphone again and actual lighting soon. Thank you. I took a shower today, so it's freshly washed. I don't put it down a lot, so it's nice to have it down. I'm glad you like my hair. Sorry, I'm sipping coffee. So if you saw the stream announcement or the title, you know exactly what's happening right here, right now, in this very moment. Oops. USB camera. We're playing Banjo-Kazooie. USB camera. There we go. There it is. Stretched out, but that's okay. Oh, let's take some time to crop back these scan lines for you, huh? Hell yeah, I hope you guys are excited. That's audio and video, I thought, but the video is over here. Give it 100. Nope. 95. 80. A little too much. 50. Oh. Little less. Banjo-Kazooie, what a fucking game. Ow! Just trimming off these black bars for you. So you got a game to look at as opposed to, you know, part of a game. How are we doing tonight? Oh, stretched. Stretched game. Let's fix that while we're at it. Whoop. There we go. That's looking much better. I have a wireless N64 controller now. I'm really excited about it. Look at that. It's not even N64 controller shaped, which bums me out a little bit, but that's a half finished file. So this one's getting erased. Yeah, okay. Hover over one that's been 100%ed. Are you ready, kids? It's Banjo-Zooie time. Oh, coffee's fantastic. We got French vanilla creamer in the house. Oh my god, it's so much better than dining hall coffee. You have no idea. I hope the camera looks okay. I know the lighting in this room is abysmal. Gonna make sure my lamp comes back here next time I'm here. Although, well, spring break maybe, but it might not be till summer, so it'll come anyway. But ding pot by the bench. Who's the nicest looking wench? I gotta give her a voice. Well, it's Grunty any day. She really takes my breath away. Yes, you're right. I'm rather proud. My looks stand me out from the crowd. Hover for a minute. But there is this girl. What do you mean this cannot be? There's no one prettier than me. Why, it's Tootie, young and small. She's the prettiest girl of all. I sound like Patrick Star. That's what this voice is. Nicer beauty can't be had. Unfortunately, I think you'll find it's Tootie. She's cute and kind. He's getting the Patrick Star voice. Well, we'll see about that. I think that's the only line in this game that doesn't rhyme. I know Tui, and we'll see it when we play Tui, has a lot of not rhyming lines. It's like a whole thing is her sisters beg her not to rhyme because they're annoyed by it. Just the writers don't want to write any more rhymes. But in this game, she rhymes up until, like, that's the only line that she doesn't. What are you gonna do today, Tootie? Yep, no, it's Banjo. My big lazy brother wakes up, we're going on an adventure. I think I'd waste bottles like this, maybe. Oh, that's the point. I'm gonna give him this voice. Cool. Wake up, Banjo. I want to go on an adventure too. Sounds very masculine for Kazooie, but it's the best thing. Yeah. If Tootie thinks she's fairer than me, I'll steal her looks and ugly she'll be. Is that your brother? I'm still leading into Banjo. There, Mr. Mole, I can't see him. Up there in the sky. There's both. I don't think so. Who is that? Come to me, my little pretty. You'll soon be ugly. What a pity. I love this. Here we go, you little hag. I was gonna skip this cutscene, but don't scratch and bite my little bear. You'll soon be bigger underwear. Oh no, she's got her. Somebody, help. Banjo, wake up. Now? What do you want, Kazooie? Let's get outside. There's trouble. I love this game. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, okay. I'm skipping dialogue now. Kazooie, if you want me to teach you some basic moves, depends me if you think you're already good enough. Oh, I'm good enough. You bet we're good enough, Bottle Brain. Cool. Oh my god, I haven't played this game in a little while, so it's actually like... I'm actually sort of, like, really excited to be playing this. Yeah. Yeah. Extra life. Just trying to roll bottles. I'm really excited about Banjo-Thon. Being as big of a Banjo fan as I am, it's kind of a big deal for me. But yeah, no, I'm super jazzed. So the deal with Banjo-Thon, as I alluded to in the announcement for the stream, is that we're not changing the stream schedule for this one. Otherwise, it's Banjo Week. We're blasting through Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie and having a great time doing it. At least that's the idea. And I'm jazzed about that. Seeing as I get to play Banjo-Kazooie. When normally, like, there's still going to be a banjo this week here if I can help it. It'll likely be the summer, as it always is, August. That's what I usually aim for. I usually aim for August being Banjo Week time. And we'll still do one. Maybe I'll throw in. I just got Grunty's Revenge on GBA, and I've had Nuts and Bolts since I was a kid. So maybe I've been playing Diddy Kong Racing a lot. So I'll throw in one of those maybe as a game we're actually just playing. Try it. Instead of stretch incentive, maybe for this year. I'm not sure yet. But I wanted to make it up because 2023's Banjo Week was a disaster, as you probably know. This fine contraption, so I'm told, will make me and Tootie O. Let me go, you fat hag. My brother will come and kick your butt. Rescue you, he will not dare. There's many dangers in my lair. Hurry, Clongo, push that switch. I'm tired of being an ugly witch.
Yes, Mistress Grunty, power is on soon ready.
Banjo, help! So good. Genuinely. There he is, the fun begins. My tricks and traps, we'll see who wins. A jiggy. Oh, I adore this game. Get ready for just Maddie gushes for like 2 hours. That's what this is. This is not, this is not a regular playthrough. This is I love these games. Finish my coffee. You're so down. I'm so glad. Like, don't get me wrong. I have complaints. These games are not perfect games, particularly Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Tooie, I have words about Banjo-Tooie. Even though that game is my favorite game of all time, I have words about that game. That said, we're gonna play it and I'm gonna have an awesome time. Just because that's who I am, that's what this is. But yeah, I'm jazzed. I genuinely love Banjo-Kazooie more than most things in this world, if I'm being real with you. I'm just gonna grab all the notes. I'm like half doing the speedrun. I only half remember it. I used to be learning to speedrun this game 100%, but I stopped. I haven't learned a long speedrun. I would say in a long time, but really just ever. Because Luigi's Mansion I know is pretty long. Like 2 hours is not a short speedrun, but I didn't learn anything. Like, I learned to R-pump. And I learned to do Melody Pianissima in Japanese. Like, I learned what her answers are. You know, like, what song, which position answer do I pick, because I can't read Japanese. And that's it. Like, I didn't really learn that run, I just played too much Luigi's Mansion. If we're being real. So I've really never learned a terribly long speedrun. And I would like to change that. but I keep falling off every long speed run I want to learn. Because I think about learning banjo, I fall off. I think about learning 70 star, I fall off. You know, like, which might be a 2024 goal. Honestly, might be an early 2024 goal, like a post Banjo-Thon. Really commit to a run. Whoops. Oh wait, no, that's not actually a bad thing. Take Congress orange. Oops. There we go. Chippy is orange. I don't even think I'm in position to get the Jiggy like I wanted to be. Oh no, I am. Cool. Yeah, oh my god. I'm really jazzed about this. Bro, what? What the heck? One orange. Two orange. Leap. There. Okay. Enjoy the Donkey Kong sound. Up here, this corner. Cool. That spawns the Jiggy over this way. Hit the witch switch. Do whatever, because it doesn't matter. I hit the witch switch. Then I roll off the bottom corner of this into that Jiggy. And then normally he'd be tossing his orange, and I'd go to this Jiggy where it spawns. So, we got a Jiggy. It's awesome and good and fantastic. Crossing this bridge. Grab the rest of the stuff on this slope. That's Jiggy. Oh my god, it's funny. I probably have sank more time into like Mario 64 and stuff than I have this game. But honestly, if we're talking about games I really truly love, I think Banjo-Kazooie is right near the top. Maybe that could be a fun idea for a video, is like ranking my top 10 favorite games of all time. Because I'm fairly confident that Tooie is my favorite game of all time. And I feel like this game's a pretty close second. But also, I'm not sure. I'm debating doing this just the correct way instead of whatever the hell I'm doing, but I can't remember if I have all the Momo tokens or not. Honestly, I think it's funny to do it this way. And as we know, funny is all the justification I need. Because you're supposed to get 5 Mumbo tokens and go in Mumbo's hut and have it turn you into a termite that can walk on slopes without sliding. Specifically these slopes that are too steep for even the Talon Trot. But I know the speedrun strat. I know how to stall. Some of my other favorite games. So, like I said, obviously I'm pretty confident Banjo-Tooie is my favorite game of all time. I love the sequel to this game. It is so horribly flawed. Like, just outright, I don't think it's a better game than this game, like, objectively. I just think I like it. But then, like, other favorites, Earthbound, Mother 3, those are way up there. I adore those. I adore the Mother games. Even Mother 1, honestly. Like, Mother 1, I give a lot of shit for being a Famicom RPG. Like, it is not aged gracefully. However, I do still really like the narrative. So even in a game that I'm like, ooh, you're kind of not fun for me to play, there's still something there for me to really, truly adore. So the Mother series is way up there. Nice. That was slick. Luigi's Mansion, obviously. Obviously, all the games I speedrun, I think. My friend Pedro, I think, is really cool and creative and has really grown on me over the course of my speedrunning. Because a friend of mine, when I was younger, introduced me to that game, and I thought it was a little weird. I never super gelled with it, but of course, lo and behold, now I speedrun it. I'm a former world record holder. I was really bummed being knocked off of world record and might grind to take it back. But, you know, it's just one of those things where I'm still second place in 2 categories. Like, I am not bad at that game by any means, and I really like it. Yeah, I did lose the record. Turn the game sound down a little bit. Of course I can, of course. Thank you for saying something. There we go. Hopefully that's better. But that's everything in this level, right? Yeah, like 8 minutes, not bad. But yeah, like my friend Pedro has grown on me. It's not my favorite, but there is something special about it. Once again, I'm supposed to be a termite here, but I think that I would rather do some really weird stuff. Cool. Basically, when your shadow touches a slope, it's I think it's a 1.5 second timer. It might be a 3-second timer that starts, and after that, it then makes you slide down it. The idea is to give you time to get into Talon Trot or anything else you might need to do. But you can abuse that. You can jump and you can hit B to do a move, and then jump out of that move and move your shadow off the slope and then bring it back to reset the timer. Because when you do a move, it sort of holds that timer in place for you, which is super duper nice. Did I delete my Furnace Fun Moves file? I think I might have. I'm just now realizing I might be playing this on my Furnace Fun Moves file from when I was learning to speedrun this game. Which would be why it was incomplete, because in Furnace Fun Moves you don't learn a couple moves in order to... Like, you don't learn Eggs and Feathers moves because you then learn them during the run to fill those resources from the get-go, so oops. That's okay. Not a big deal. But yeah, no, I was dethroned. Somebody who's not even, like, active in the Discord, interestingly, they're on the leaderboard. They're not, like, a straight-up nobody. Oh. That really bit me in the ass. But yeah, they're not like a straight up like newbie nobody. They were like relatively low on the leaderboard though. Before getting their world record time, their any percent time still is like really, I don't even remember. It's like just outside of top 10 maybe, or just in top 10. Like they're good at the game, but they were like, in the grand scheme of there's like 15 people ever that have ran this game, they weren't like crazy. And then bam, they reached out and snagged my no tutorial percent record, which like honestly, I had that record because nobody else tried to run that game. That's the long and short of it. Nobody else tried to run that category. I opposed to the creation of that category. Um, um, like somebody was like, "Oh, we should make no tutorial percent," and I was like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, because we play the tutorial every playthrough, and it gets kind of dull. So why not have a category where you can just skip that?" And I was like, "But it doesn't even take like a minute." Like I understand it's pretty dull, but speedrunning's repetition. What does it matter? Um, and they insisted, and the head of the leaderboards was like, nah, we can have another category. Why not? Let's keep folks happy. Let's have some fun. And then I was like, sure, new category. I'm gonna just lay down a run. I didn't like try for a great run or anything. I was just like, I'm gonna lay down a run, and that's gonna be my world record run. And I figured the guy who asked for the category to be made would inevitably take that record from me. I wasn't terribly concerned with holding on to that record. Well, he never did. The guy who asked for the category still, to my knowledge, has not submitted a run in that category. But some guy, I forget his name, and I feel bad because he's the world record holder in that category now. Went ahead and snagged the world record, and like, good for him. Honestly, deserves it. But he beat my time, and from there it's I haven't grinded to take it back. I should, because I've set new personal bests in any percent since I set that time. I am the second best player in the world in any percent. I would argue, period. I am the second best player in the world. And honestly, I would debate who is the best, because the guy who took the no tutorial percent record is not the guy who took the any percent record. It's actually really crazy. I have been grinding the world record since a player named Red Ring of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. Oh. But a player called Red Ring of Death held the world record in any percent for years. Right? Like, that was their thing, and that was the record I set out chasing when I started running my friend Pedro. Because I said, I want the any percent world record. I'm going to beat Red Ring of Death's time. I have beaten Red Ring of Death's time. However, a player by the name of Still Snick showed up in the My Friend Pedro speedrunning community and absolutely blew everyone out of the water. Blew that game wide open. In a way that I don't think any of us ever imagined. He just did. He figured out a lot of crazy new stuff. And like genuinely practiced and refined that run in a way that none of us ever had. I don't think any of us other runners have really gotten down to the brass tacks like Still Snick did, and really made that game a speed game. But he absolutely did, and he blew Red Ring of Death's time out of the water, like right before I beat Red Ring of Death's time. Like, I remember beating Red Ring of Death's time and being so excited and being like, oh, dude, I finally did it. And then looking and seeing that Still Snick had beaten my time before I even said it. And now there was a new world record to chase down. So that's how I ended up second place in any percent. Is I never had the any percent world record. When I finally beat the long-standing world record that I thought was still the world record, it had been beaten. That record had been blown out of the water and was no longer the record. By an incredible player. Still Snick earned it. I don't want to undermine that dude's skill. That dude absolutely earned that record. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I wasn't sure I had that. Same with the person who took my no tutorial percent record. Again, I'm not here to Oh, okay. I'll do it the correct way. I was trying to glitch into him, but I'll just do it correctly. But yeah, like both people who took it absolutely deserve it. But there's the deal with any percent. Is still Snick is an amazing person. He's actually stopped running the game. Shork, yeah, his name's Snacker. Still Snick stopped running the game not that long ago. Sometime during 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And I mentioned that I was going to come after his record. I was like, well, thanks for all you've done. He's given me advice on how to chase his record. Awesome guy. And he's like, I hope you do. I hope you do chase it down. So that's probably primarily where I want to focus is my 80%. Just because I've wanted to be the world record holder in 80% since I started playing that game. That's the goal I started with. So that feels like the fitting one to go after. But no tutorial percent feels attainable. The person who beat it did beat it pretty well. Like I'm not gonna undermine their performance. They beat my record. They did pretty well. I think I could beat it because the record of mine they beat wasn't like top-notch gameplay or anything. I think if I play well in practice, I could seriously be a contender for taking that record back, which is good because I won. But yeah, that's sort of the My Friend Pedro web game speedrunning community narrative right now. Is there are two different people who have better times than me. One of them has stopped playing My Friend Pedro. Beat bomb. I have talent drop. There we go. So, I think I have a fair chance at taking those records back. I want to take those records back. I love the game a lot. It's hard for me to say who the best player is, though. Because this guy who took the no tutorial percent record, yeah, I think I could beat it, but that doesn't mean he didn't take it, you know? So, he's clearly good at the game, and still Snick, I cannot... The only major development in the scene that has happened that didn't involve him, at least in the time that I've been a part of it, was somebody made a task. If you look, oh god, what is it? There's a YouTube channel that features speedrunning tasks. I'll make sure to find it. At the end of the stream, remind me, and I'll go on my phone and pull it up, on stream, before we end. I'll pull it up and tell you, but it's a YouTube channel dedicated to featuring tasks of games. People submit their tool-assisted speedruns to it, and it features them as really cool tasks. Mind you, tool-assisted runs are generally runs where somebody has programmed a robot or something akin to it to do specific inputs on specific frames so that it always runs a perfect run. Sometimes a perfect run that a human could not achieve. Um, Realistically, there are a couple things in that run that are like, yeah, probably not viable for a person, but a lot of it is stuff that if somebody practiced hard enough, they could probably do. But that's the idea with the tool-assisted speedruns. A lot of the time, they involve doing crazy ass shit. Um, and somebody made one of those for my friend Pedro, and that's featured on that YouTube channel, and it's fantastic and awesome and great. And that's something that Still Snick did not do. But that doesn't mean Still Snick didn't innovate the game. There's just like a laundry. I really should compile their at least the techniques and little things they've taught me in like a Google Doc or something. Make a forum post, link it on the speedrun.com, something so it's not just sitting in a Discord and liable to get lost. Because it's really incredible. That worked. Oh, but it didn't give me the jiggy, so I'm still gonna have to. But yeah, like, I think that's who I would appoint best player of the game. You know, like, as much as I want to say, well, you know, I got second place in 2 different categories, so I'm the most consistent player, and that makes me the best. Really? If we're talking the best, it's the dude who blew the game wide open, took the world record that had been standing for years, and then left. And, like, took it by a significant margin. Took it by an amount of time where somebody else beat the existing world record and then found out that Snick had already set a new one. You know, and they're, like, I thought I had the world record levels of, like, I beat Red Ring of Death's long-standing world record. You know, I was like, oh, I got the record. That's awesome. And then I looked, and Snick had blown the game wide open. And had a record that beat my new time that was going to be the new record in my mind. Like, that's not a small thing. My N64 just froze. Huh. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's weird. I'm gonna have to recollect all the notes in that level because I didn't have them all, which is annoying. I did have all the Jinjos though, so it's okay. It's, I think, just 2 jiggies and the notes. But yeah, that's why I'm like, if I think about it, Still Snick's probably the best player that's ever speedran my friend Pedro, the web game. I can't speak for the console game. I'm in that Discord. I know of things in that community. I try to keep track of that community and like be cool and friendly in it, but I am not like, I don't run that game. I can't speak for Blood Bullets Bananas, the console game. The web game, Still Snick's probably the best. And as much as somebody dethroned my any percent or no tutorial percent record, I would still argue I'm second best just for consistency over categories. Because again, that person took the record fair and square. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. What? What jiggies am I missing? I'm gonna grab the Jinjos just in case. Oh yeah, Nipper's still on the beach. Well, that might be something that resets. I'm not sure. We're gonna redo the route, I guess, because I don't know what we do and don't have, and we do need all the notes. So. Clearly, we have 5 Jiggies. We have some of them. I just don't know which ones. It's weird that the game froze like that. I don't know what happened. My N64 is a perfectly good N64. There we go. I know I could just go down there, but it's more fun to try to get that shot. Oh, this Mobo token, yeah? I do. Weird. Okay. Oh, I need to grab the notes. I don't know if it gave me the Jinjo Jiggy, like if that saved. This game's usually really good about saving after every Jiggy you grab. Like this one we got. But I just don't. So I'm grabbing the Jinjos, grabbing everything again to make sure that we have everything. But I can't tell what we do and don't have, and if it is everything we had grabbed, like if we do actually have everything we grabbed before the game froze, then I had way less collected than I thought I did, and we're missing things. That's why I'm operating under the assumption that something didn't get collected. Yeah, no jigging, okay. Cool. I was on autopilot, so I genuinely cannot remember everything we do and don't have. I know there's a honeycomb we don't have. Like, I'm a little worried about it, frankly. Some of my least favorite games I played. That's an awesome question. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long on that one. Because I realized the whole My Friend Pedro rant came from favorite games I've played. I don't think I had other games to talk about other than, like, Mario 64, obviously. Smash Bros. Least favorite, though. Least favorite's a doozy. Drop that chicken. Which switch has been hit? Yellow Jingo. Let's see. I don't hate a lot of games is the problem. Like, it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh, that one really duffs my doilies. You know? It's hard for me to... The first one I think of is Ocarina of Time. I very infamously, or like notably, talk bad about that game. And honestly, I think the point where I'm at with Ocarina of Time, and we've been playing it on stream recently, and we will continue to after Banjo-Thon. Just to see see what the verdict is, but I think right now my feelings towards it are that I'm beginning to understand why people really love that game. And looking at it, I can appreciate. So that's where it stopped saving, seemingly. I think I can appreciate the things it did well, but I still have a lot of spite towards that game. Because I am someone who grew up being told that game is the best game of all time. Ocarina of Time's the perfect video game, the best Zelda, the best video game, a perfect 10 out of 10, everything you could want, you know, like, okay, it didn't save everything, correct. You know, Ocarina of Time's the critical darling. Everybody loves Ocarina of Time. That's like the whole thing with it, you know? I'm glad I recollected Jinjo's because it didn't say that we had that Jiggy. Duff's my doilies, yeah. Duff's my doilies comes from an old Sonic the Hedgehog commercial. It's humans against or Genesis, or Hag was the idea. Or Genesis Sonic Hags. Either way, it's like some old librarian talking about why can't Sonic the Hedgehog be nice and polite like that goody-goody Mario? It was a commercial to show off that Sonic the Hedgehog had rude attitude. And she you know, and Sonic jumps out of the screen that she's pointing at about, look at how mean he is with his finger wagging. And he like at her and runs off, and she's oh. But one of the things she says is she's like, oh, that Sonic the Hedgehog really duffs my doilies, and it never left me. It lives in my brain. That lady going duffs my doilies, just because it's such a really somehow both a really kinetic, like strong phrase, while also being ridiculously silly. You know? So, that's where that comes from. But yeah, Ocarina of Time, I just have so much spite from growing up as someone who watched the generation of YouTubers who grew up playing that game. You know, like, that's how I grew up. You know, I grew up watching Let's Plays of that game. So, you know, people like Josh Jepson and Chugga Conroy, Proton John, Into the Capri Sun, the Versus channel with Josh Jepson and Attack of the Toucans, like all these people who unanimously are like, oh, Ocarina of Time's a great game. I love that game. You know, and you know, IGN, perfect 10 out of 10. It is really funny, Duff's My Doilies, yeah. IGN still, their rating for Ocarina of Time is still a perfect 10 out of 10. You know, like, if you look online, most people rated that game flawless. And now, there's a lot more people questioning that and pointing out that it aged poorly, as well as rejection of some of the norms that those Let's Players push, like hating Navi, even though Navi's a bitch. I don't like Navi. But, like, people are like, oh, she's not that bad. There are now deniers of Navi's annoyingness, which was unheard of when I was a kid. Like, when I was younger, calling Ocarina of Time an okay game was grounds to be bullied on the internet. You know, like, that was internet social suicide. You know, to say that you didn't like that game. So I have so much spite towards it because I think it's an okay game. I don't have a ton good to say about it, but I don't think it's a bad game either. You know, it does do some things right. There's a reason Zelda didn't die when it went 3D like other franchises do. You know, clearly it did things right. But I I'm very spiteful towards the game because of, um, the world I existed in growing up and interacting with it as someone who didn't really enjoy it. It led to a lot of years of like, I just don't understand it. Surely, that many people couldn't be wrong. I just don't get it. I'm playing it wrong. Which I'm gonna tell you a little secret. There's no right way to have fun. There's no wrong way to have fun. There's no rule book for fun. If you try something and it's not fun to you, that's fine. You're allowed to not have fun with things other people have fun with. And if somebody tells you that you're doing it wrong, and that's why you're not having fun, they can go fuck themselves. Kindly. Because there's no wrong way to have fun. Games are built, or like good game design is when the game is built to tell you where to go, like to guide you through its rules and through its world to understand your objective and how the world works and how to interact with it. Like, there are rules to the worlds of games, but that doesn't mean that you have to interact with the game in one way. Even this game. Most people 100% Banjo-Kazooie because it just feels right. Any percenting this game, you only miss a couple jiggies because a couple jiggies, and you still have to enter every world because of note requirements and stuff. So most people just go out of their way to 100% it, like I do. That does not mean it's the right way to do it, though. You're allowed to not 100% this game. You're allowed to not like this game. Where are those 3 notes I'm missing? Oh, no. Like, there's no right or wrong way to have fun, and there's a lot of pent-up spite I have because of Ocarina of Time. And its fan base's general push for there being a wrong way to have fun. If you don't enjoy that game, you're wrong. You did it wrong. Didn't give it a fair... I beat that game out of spite the first time, just to be able to say that I don't enjoy it. Just because that's like... I got a lot of feelings about that game. I feel like there's gonna be a rant at something, a video. I don't know what, but there's gonna be something about that game and how it's interacted with me in my life and how I feel about that. Because there is, I feel the need to. Little Nightmares actually isn't. By the way, I did see your chat about You'd Imagine Little Nightmares. Here's my 3 notes, by the way. You'd Imagine Little Nightmares is on that list of least favorite games. I think Little Nightmares is fantastic. There is a bot in my chat who needs to be banned, actually. Ban. There we go. But yes, only 20 minutes, that's not bad. I think Little Nightmares is a fantastic game, and I'm actually really interested in the story. I watched like a full lore explanation with Basil, and had a great time. I think Little Nightmares is fantastic. I think it does what it set out to do very, very, very well. The only problem I have with that game is what it set out to do is scare the shit out of me. It's a great example of there's no wrong way to have fun. I don't like that game. And it's not because I'm doing it the wrong way. It's just because it doesn't appeal to me. It's a good game. Objectively, there's no objectivity in art, obviously, but objectively, we'll put it in quotes, if we're talking about, like, formal analysis, that's how we'll put it. Is like, if we're doing a formal analysis of that game, I think it's a fantastic game. I just don't love it, because it scares the hell out of me. And that's its goal, is to be scary. So even more so, is it a good game and succeeds. Art and lore, honestly, gameplay wasn't all that interesting. That's fair. Yeah, I think gameplay lacks a lot of depth that I like in my games. Like, I like a lot of depth and movement when I play games. So it definitely does lack something that I enjoy in games. But I think it's very, because it's a horror game, it's very fitting that the movement is limited. You know, it feels right because it makes you feel helpless. You know, it forces you to think outside the box, and it makes you feel scared. All these big enemies have a way more freedom in the spaces, in the maw, than you do moving around. And I think that's kind of the point. Is it makes you terrified because they are way bigger and stronger and more capable of moving around than you are. You're like a mouse scurrying away from a lady with a broom, and that's terrifying. Oh, okay. No fun cycles for me. um, but yeah, that's the deal. Is like, I think maybe in terms of like personal taste, it's one of my least favorites. It's sort of like a Banjo-Tooie. I think in terms of formal analysis, that's a worse game than this one. Um, but in terms of personal preference, I like it more. So Little Nightmares, I think in terms of formal analysis, is a wonderful game, and I do enjoy aspects of it. But in terms of personal preference, I guess you're right. It is one of my lesser favorites. It's hard for me to say games are my least favorite, because for me I'm so, oh god, that I was gonna say that in such a way that made me sound pretentious. I exist in a part of the gaming sphere that makes me aware of the fact, or like has trained me in such a way to think about games as art first and foremost, to critically think about games and to treat them as art. And then from there, I have learned new ways to navigate thinking about art because of college. Not just existing on the internet and in a community and space, but also, um, you know, college exists. I know I'm no longer an art student, but I was an art student for a full year, and I put my everything in it. I made dean's list. Like, I studied art for a full year, and I now study film, which is still a form of art. It's not traditional art, but it is still a form of art. So I'm constantly developing new ways to approach media and art and the concept of it. And then on top of that, have grown up as someone who enjoys approaching games critically and inquisitively and as art. Whether it be things like digital gaming, cool bits, game theory, obviously. Um, so I'm always thinking about more than the surface level of do I like or not like the game. And sometimes that, or often, that leads to sort of complicated thoughts and opinions about it, where it's hard for me to say, this is my least favorite game. And that's why I was like, oh, that's a doozy of a question. Because I don't spend a long time thinking about games I don't like. Because, like, I come to the decision that I don't like a game after giving it a fair shake and looking at it as art, really inquisitively thinking about like a formal analysis. What makes this game interesting, good, beloved, etc. Like I said, Ocarina of Time, I could sit and talk about so many things in that game for hours because it has interesting things to talk about. I will not lie to you. Ocarina of Time is not a boring game. I think its world building is brilliant. I know it's a long too. Um, like there's a lot to talk about with that game in terms of its place in history and its place in game design and in terms of world building and storytelling and art. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad. I have a lot of spite for it, which is why it's one of my least favorites. But that mindset makes it hard for me to really hate games viscerally because I don't know. There's always something, you know. Um I think another game I could pretty unabashedly hate is Destiny, specifically Destiny 2. I gave that game a couple hours of my time and had a bad time. I did not have fun doing it. Um, you know, so that's a great example. And that game has really scummy live service monetization to the point where they hired a professional psychologist to make sure that that game was as scientifically addictive as possible. Like, you know how they design casinos to make it hard to find your way out, and, alluring to the gambling and to the bar so that you get drunk and gamble, and then you try to find your way out, and it's like a maze when you're sober, but now you're drunk. Um, like they pulled that with Destiny 2. They hired a professional psychologist to make Destiny 2 a game that you get addicted to and have a hard time getting out of and wind up spending money playing. On top of having to buy it, I believe. I think it might be free now, but at one point or another, it was a purchase. So that game, I'm fairly confident in. Like, that's scummy. You can't access all the content that the game came out with. Um, it gets really infrequent and really uninteresting, unhelpful updates that don't do anything really to further the game in a meaningful way. Um, it's another game that generally disregards its players and the value of their time and their interest. So I'm pretty comfortable in saying that's one of my least favorite games I've ever played. I played like 2 hours and dropped it, and every time it comes up, I am not afraid to dunk on it because it's genuinely a bad game led by bad developers with bad ethics towards not only their dev team but their players. It's a game that actively looks to abuse you, the player, and that's not a game at all. You know, so that maybe I could actively shit on Destiny 2. That's a game that I would say is up there for least favorite games. A lot of live service, honestly, if I think about it. If I really sit here and think about games that I can really say are bad and I don't like, a lot of it is live service, battle pass type games where you're incentivized to play every day, and force yourself to play every day and to spend money on them to have the chance to unlock things by playing every day. It makes the game your job as opposed to making it something for you to play and enjoy and have fun with. Games are fun. That's what a game is supposed to be, right? It's fun. I'm sitting here playing Banjo-Kazooie, and I know I'm streaming, and streaming is an obligation I make for myself and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I would play Banjo-Kazooie even if I wasn't streaming, frankly. Because I like Banjo-Kazooie. It is a fun game that I enjoy. I have fun playing this game. And at any point I can decide I'm done having fun and move on. Because again, there's no rulebook to fun. I want to finish this game because I enjoy finishing this game, and I enjoy streaming this game and finishing it on stream, and that's a fun experience for me, which is why I want to do it. I want to do that because it's how I have fun playing Banjo-Kazooie. However, there's no rule book for having fun, and there's nothing that says you have to finish this game when you play it. You know, there is nothing forcing me or incentivizing me to come back tomorrow that isn't my own desire to have fun. Live service games don't do that. They make it your job. If you don't come back and do your dailies, well, you wasted your money on the battle pass because you're not going to get all the rewards. There's just not enough time. And therein lies my issue. You know, frame perfect, hardest strat in the game. I'm kidding. You literally just talon trot up the little right seam on that bottom floor, and for some reason, none of these blades hit you. You're supposed to do what I'm doing now and go through with golden feathers, which are like an invincibility power-up, and those spin way too fast for you to go through at any other point. For some reason, this little line right here where the angled piece meets the flat piece, you walk along that either way. It's a little harder on the way back because of the camera angle, but still, you don't get hit. For some reason. But yeah, live service games make playing a video game your job. And I think that's bunk. I think that's stupid. I think that's bad game design. Again, it's not about having fun anymore. It's about making you spend money. Dominating your time so you always spend more money on their game and not another game trying to do the same thing. That tangent, that rant, then puts a couple games in least favorite category, you know. Fortnite, Apex. Overwatch 2, there are things in Overwatch 2 I enjoy. I would not say that's one of my least favorite games. Just because there are things about it that I enjoy. But it is a little sullied by me by the fact that they went for the live service battle pass model. Like Multiverses, I really like the gameplay of Multiverses. Its quality, you know, like my idea of that game, does have a damper put on it by the live service model. As well as a couple other things, like the fact that they shut it down for half a year. I can't play that game online. Which is the main way to play it. There's next to no single-player content in that game. But they decided summer 2024 is when it officially releases. Their 2 seasons of content, labeled as seasons after the open beta, were actually also part of the open beta. Because their numbers were starting to dwindle and their relevancy was dropping. So, how do you fix that? You shut the game down to try to create false scarcity, which is not working for them very well. Again, I really like Multiverses. It's a game I like. It is sullied by its live service choices, and I think Overwatch is sort of in the same boat. I've been playing Overwatch since Overwatch 1. I purchased that game on PC for $30 on sale, and I played the hell out of it, dude. I threw down hours in that game. I genuinely had a good time playing Overwatch 1. I liked Overwatch 1. And I continue to genuinely have a good time playing Overwatch 2. It's just now it's sullied a little by the live service model. It affects my opinion. Gosh. Let's see. Back on track. Least favorite game. So Ocarina of Time. Personal preference, Little Nightmares, though that game is a fantastic game. I fully understand and appreciate and respect why people like it. It does what it sets out to do really well. Destiny 2. What else? It's hard for me to be like, this game sucks. There's got to be some Jimmy Johnson's anything with an engine. Let's say there's got to be some licensed shovelware I hate, and there is. Jimmy Johnson's anything with an engine racing. It released on a couple different platforms. I can't speak for all the platforms that it released on. I can speak for the Wii version of that game. I fucking hate that game. Alright, it is the definition of subpar shovelware on the Wii. You know, like they wanted to make a Mario Kart clone because Mario Kart's successful. And it's a really bad, really unfun Mario Kart clone centered around Jimmy Johnson. You can't play as him off the bat, if I remember correctly, but you're trying to learn racing from him and be better than him, and you drive anything with an engine. So there's people in like modified shopping carts and bathtub and go-karts and things that shouldn't have engines, but in game universe have been modified to have them. Oh, there's a sticker. I was like, there's something not right here. And it's that I was missing a sticker. There we go. But that game, I'm so sad it's never gonna air. Because there are people in it I don't talk to now, and I don't wanna do any sort of BS with them not wanting to be featured on a YouTube channel alongside me or anything like that. But I did an entire we played I think 10 episodes of that game. We played a lot of Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine Racing because it was a series that bred a lot of fun. We spent like a whole day just recording that game. But the fun wasn't in like silly bits based off of how jank it was, or it being really good and us having a lot of fun. No, it came from how myself and one of the co-hosts, Radiate Josie, who is still my friend and still really cool, slowly descending into madness, which we then dragged other people into. I might die on my way to the honeycomb. Okay, I got all the notes and all the jiggies, so it's fine if I die trying to get the honeycomb. I'm just gonna reach if I can. There we go. We're good. Normally in a speedrun, you'd try to go up this pipe and grab the honeycomb piece in it, and then drown, because you'll die more down the level. Which speeds up getting out of here, but it's okay. Yep, we're good. But yeah, that game, the comedy of it came from Josie and I going absolutely insane, and then the other people who featured in that series, they joined partway through after Josie and I. Our minds had melted. We were numb. Very audibly, you could tell. Not only if you knew us, but just over the course of that series, you could tell we went into it like, oh, this is going to be so silly, it's going to be janky, to just dead inside. Which was really funny for the people who then joined with that, oh, this is going to be so silly and really janky attitude. Because then when it wasn't janky enough to be silly, they still had misery to laugh at, schadenfreude. But needless to say, we played a lot of Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine Racing. Hours of that game, and I'm bummed it'll never air on the internet. But it drove me mad. It just wasn't fun. It had everything that you would expect wrong with it that like a B-list wannabe Mario Kart would have. From an unappealing roster to poor control and unclear game mechanics, unbalanced roster, poor track design. If you can think of it, it was a problem that game had, really. Graphically, it was really ugly, and I know some of that was it being the Wii version. I I watched a speed run of that game. They played the PS3 version at one of the recent GDQs over the past couple of years. I don't remember which one. But I watched that speed run, and it looked better, but it was still Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine Racing. Still a bad game. So that's there's a shitty licensed game I hate. That's one of the worst games I've ever played. That's a really good question you pitched at me, by the way. I really appreciate you, Paparo. I hope you're still like lurking and listening. But that's a really good question you pitched. I really appreciate you asking questions and interacting. It's nice, it gives me something to talk about. Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. I am still on the fence about that game, but it's not an unpopular opinion to dunk on that game. Nor would I consider you like a sheep missing a hidden gem to dunk on that game. Every time I play that game, it's some variant of confusing or broken. So, I think it earns a lot of the hate it gets. I own it on Wii U. And the Wii U sure is a console. It's a really fun console. I will say, I wish more people gave that console a chance. Because it's a really unique design that's pretty fun to use. And some of the first-party games are fucking bangers. That's why so many Wii U games have been ported to the Switch. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Mario 3D World, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. These are all... 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. All games that are Wii U games that they ported to Switch. And then, of course, Splatoon started on the Wii U, has 2 sequels on the Switch. Splatoon 2 and 3 are both on the Switch, and also pretty great games. And Super Mario Maker. The Wii U is uniquely fit for the level building mechanic of that game, but they put it on Switch and it works on Switch and people still play and enjoy it on Switch. Super Mario Maker 2. We are still here. I'm glad. So don't get me wrong. As I criticize the Wii U here, the Wii U had awesome games and is really fun, like conceptually. The gamepad's nice. It's relatively okay to hold, and it's a really fun concept. And a lot of the Wii elements that got carried over are nice, and the backwards compatibility with the Wii is nice. Motion controls on some of those Wii U games, like Pikmin 3. I've been playing Pikmin 4 on my Switch recently. I got it for Christmas, having lots of fun with it. But something I miss is being able to use a Wii Remote nunchuck and point the Wii Remote to aim where I'm throwing my Pikmin. That was a super unique and awesome control scheme thing that came from playing Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. Like, I know Pikmin 1 and 2 with the new Wii Play Motion on the Wii was where that came to be. The Wii ports of Pikmin 1 and 2. But the way I first experienced it was Pikmin 3. And the reason I miss it is because I played Pikmin 3 that way. Like the Wii U, a lot of cool things that could have been used more or were used by first-party games. But the Wii U gamepad was not a super comfortable controller to hold. The Wii U's processor is one out of like a fucking 2000s office computer. It has problems, It just doesn't have the power that its contemporaries had. Didn't have the third-party support, and didn't have the most comfortable to hold controller. Because the Wii U gamepad conceptually cool, in practice, so-so. Its form factor, colors were kind of meh. Its naming scheme obviously confused consumers. Just a lot of issues, So I'm it leaves me in a spot where I don't regret getting a Wii U. I made a lot of childhood memories on that Wii U. I'm looking at it as I say this, and I do still turn it on from time to time. Wind Waker HD was never ported. Splatoon 1 was never ported. It got sequels, but if I want to play Splatoon 1 for any reason, Wii U is the place to go. Smash for Wii U and 3DS was my introduction to competitive Smash Bros. Like I knew of it and wanted to play competitively as a kid. Smash Bros. Brawl. You know, like Melee was the competitive game when I was a kid, and I would, learn about and watch Melee, and then try to mimic those concepts in Brawl. Even though I knew some mechanics didn't exist in Brawl, I thought Brawl felt nicer. I liked it. Forgot to hit the button. Oops. But yeah, like as much as I was like, I'm gonna get so good at Brawl and be competitive, when I truly started playing competitively on Smash for Wii U. It's the first game I entered tournaments in, first game I looked up tutorials and got coaching and like really tried my hand. And I was bad at it. I'm still pretty bad at competitive Smash. When I go to Maple Lane, which is the Burlington local, shoutouts to Maple Lane. I might be going this coming weekend. I usually go 0-2 and then end up commentating the matches of people better than me. But like competitive Smash is a huge part of my life, and Smash for Wii U is a huge part of why it's a huge part of my life. I watched a lot of competitive and got my footing and start in competitive in that game. So again, the Wii U, I don't regret getting it as a kid. I wanted it as a kid, and I played games that I wanted to play on it, and I still play some games on it, and it's a good fun. It just has problems. But yeah, it's one of those things that you go, what a mistake. Unfortunately, I own a Wii U. But really, it's nice. It's a nice collection piece. I don't hate it. Again, it's one of those things that I can look at and go, I don't hate this. I appreciate its flaws, in terms of formal analysis. We could discuss what went wrong and why it was bad, but I think it's neat. I had fun with it. It did its job as a console for me, and that's really all I could ask, I played video games on it. I had fun. And it was one of the first consoles that I could properly use streaming services on. And while I didn't use Netflix on it a ton, I'm not an avid Netflix user, despite my family having a subscription. I watched YouTube on it. For both my 3DS and my Wii U, when they released the recaps, when it was around when they announced that they were going to be done supporting the Wii U and 3DS, they released recaps of how many hours you spent on things. I was really excited to see what games I played the most and stuff. Those charts are really hard for me to read, not because bad memories, but because they're blown way out of scale by the fact that I used YouTube on both of those systems way too much. I fall asleep to YouTube. I have for a very long time, and that for a while was facilitated by my Wii U and 3DS. First my 3DS, then my Wii U, because that's the order I got them in. I would watch YouTube on the gamepad, which was nice because it saved on electricity. I didn't have to have a TV on, That was the appeal of both those. At first it was my 3DS is a handheld. It's just as long as it's on the charger, it doesn't drive up the electric bill until having a TV on and stuff. And then for the Wii U, it was the gamepad. It was, I'm not driving up the electric bill with a TV on. I can just look at the gamepad. Really cool stuff. Is my point, I guess. A lot of cool things happened, and a lot of unique stuff that became a memorable part of my childhood. Was from that generation of consoles. If you're curious, now I watch YouTube on my laptop at home and on my phone at college when I go to bed. Because my phone's an easy thing to put on the charger and sort of have on really low volume, like near my ear or something, so I can hear it, but it doesn't disturb my roommate. He's also a YouTube to bed watcher, so like it's not a big deal, but we both use our phones separately and keep it at a respectable volume, and it's good. Every now and again I hear what he's watching, and it's kind of silly, because I'm like, oh, I recognize that's Game Grumps or something, but it's never, like, disturbingly loud. It's never a problem. Did I hit him, or did I got hit. There we go. I heard Banjo make a noise, and I couldn't tell if it was because I hit the Buzz Bomb or the Buzz Bomb hit. The answer is Buzz Bomb hit. But yeah. Gosh, I think that's my tangent off of least favorite games I've played. I should do more game reviews and game rants, I think. I know, Paparo, you're aware of this actually, because you helped conceptualize it. On the back burner and in development for a little while now, I've had like a game history rant show that I've just been working on for YouTube. And I think, oh well, my iPod died. I say my phone, it's an iPod. It got warm. I'm using my phone, I guess. That's been on the charger this whole time. But yeah, you're at least acutely aware, provided you remember this, of the show concept Game Herster, Gaming Gal's Guide to Game History and more. Like that was the concept. And I might alter the title a little bit. I thought about making it into Maddie Uncut, or Uncut Pizza, something like that, where I just go on tangents, and it's not necessary. Some of them are game history, because I do want to share my love of game history with the world, but like also tangents about like my there's no wrong way to have fun, there's no rules for fun thing in regards to live service games, in regards to Dark Souls, rants like that, or rants like I just went on about. I fondly remember the Wii U and 3DS. They had flaws. It was a time to be a Nintendo fan, or a pretty bad time to be a Nintendo fan, rather. But like, there are things I enjoy, but rants like that, or at least favorite games I've ever played, I think I would really enjoy making content where I rant. Sorry, I fell and I hate it. Yes, I know. But I don't know. I really want to do it. I see the all caps. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah, it it's a long time coming, but I think I might start focusing some energy on that because I here's something I can talk about. I didn't have a New Year's resolution until I think 2 days ago. I knew I wanted to make one. It wasn't a matter of, oh, they're dumb. You're just lying to yourself. Because I don't think that's the case. I think a lot of people struggle with New Year's resolutions because they set ones that aren't fun. They set ones that are difficult to achieve or don't appeal to them. Like, oh, I'm going to lose this much weight. I'm going to change my lifestyle. I'm going to, uproot my comfort in some way. It is a great concept, yeah. But, a lot of people make goals like that. Reminder, a New Year's resolution doesn't have to be complicated. If I remember correctly, Basil's New Year's resolution, my partner, it's a fantastic one, is just to try a new sweet or candy each month. Like that, you can just try new foods, dude. You can decide you want to, do more of what you love, instead of do something you don't do or don't love. Like, New Year's resolutions can be fun, right? Oh, normally I do this last. Oops. I'll probably come back and... Ugh, I got disrupted by Mumbo text. I'll come back. I'll redo the maze to be a little crocodile. Because if I transform now, I have to redo the maze to become not a crocodile to do some other stuff in the level anyway. So I might as well just take the few collectibles and leave. Get back into art and just try to start reading again. That's awesome. Oh yeah, most importantly, I want to clarify. You're allowed to have, lofty goals or whatever. But a lot of people give themselves a hard time with New Year's resolutions. I didn't want to do that. For the past couple of years, my New Year's resolution has been to beat games. Every year, at the beginning of the year, I'd take a notepad and I'd make a list of games that I have started and want to finish. And throughout the year, I'd consult that list when I didn't know what to play, or when I sort of had a desire to play something, I'd be like, oh, well, it's on the list, or I'd add it or remove things. And some games I'd DNF, and some games I'd finish and mark off, and I'd celebrate about it. And that concept sort of turned into my Instagram account. Sort of became the new version of that, where instead of forcing myself to have a list, which originally was sort of just incorporated into the Instagram account, now I just post the end screens of those games. Like it used to be, I would play games off the list, and those were the end screens I'd post. Now it's just I post end screens. And I'm like, here's a little review of this game I played. It's nice. And I think that's a better way for me to handle wanting to finish more games, is that concept. So, yeah, that's where I'm at on beating games. So I wanted to make a new New Year's resolution, right? I wanted to give myself a new goal to work towards, that means something more to me. And then it hit me that 2024 is my 9th year of doing YouTube. I think it's maybe my 5th year of streaming. I'll have to double check when my first stream was. It's my 4th or 5th year of streaming. But it's my 9th year of YouTube. I started YouTube in 2015. Hold on. Red, pink, yellow. Okay. And realistically, I've just been banging my head against the wall to no avail. You know, I've been doing the same thing for the better part of a decade. If I, like, if I continue to just do the same thing, I'll have done the same thing for no reason for a decade. And I want to change that. So my New Year's resolution is to make something different. It's to be the change I want, like to make content I want to make. That's the point of doing content creation as a hobby. Red, pink, purple, red, pink. Nice. It's relatively easy to remember. Red, pink, purple, red, pink. Let me finish this and then I'll get back on my rant. Alright. Pink, yellow, cyan, yellow, cyan, purple, blue. Pink, yellow, cyan, yellow, cyan, purple, pink, blue? No, blue, pink. Oh no, just blue. Cool. Okay, yeah. So, I have that resolution because content creation for me is a hobby. Admittedly, it's a hobby that falls into the trap that a lot of Gen Z hobbies do, where I would enjoy if it were like a full-time monetized thing, and streaming on Twitch is monetized for me. It's not, it doesn't, I maybe get paid twice a year on Twitch, if I'm lucky, but like people can subscribe. They can pay money that goes to me to keep doing Twitch streaming, and there's a donation button, and obviously we've done charity, which doesn't raise money for me, but does raise money, which I'm so proud of us. Oh my god, I still can't get over that. That was awesome. Excited to do Scare-a-thon again this year. Very, very excited. But, like, technically monetized, but it's not a living. I'm not, like, YouTube, Twitch is a hobby, right? And a hobby's supposed to be fun. Make the content you want to make. And don't get me wrong, I still want to make Let's Plays. I have Let's Plays planned in the future. I'm currently still doing Let's Plays. Doing Mario Wonder and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I don't think many people know that because nobody really watches them, but I still make Let's Plays. And going into the semester, I actually have a plan that my roommate and I discussed to more consistently record and edit Let's Plays by having a specific day where him and I agree is my recording day, and if he wants to record things with me, he can also do that, but, like, that's the day where I am making content to keep doing. Like, Let's Plays, I still have Let's Plays I want to do, I'm still doing them, but again, I've been doing Let's Plays for almost a decade. I've had plenty of time to refine them, and I feel like I'm stagnating. I'm making Let's Plays, and they're getting better over time, certainly. But, like, realistically, I want to make something else alongside them, and I think a rant show is that something. Like, again, my New Year's resolution is to make something different. Make something that isn't... I'm going to do this the right way. I'm not going to do Mr. Vile right now. Make something that isn't Let's Plays. And the VOD channel exists, and I'm really happy about that, because it sort of preserves these live streams and makes these live streams a part of the content I make. And I started doing YouTube Shorts, primarily with Twitch clips, though I probably will also make shorts here and there when I think of them. And again, that's another creative outlet. I might try to, get that involved in my recording days. It's something I think about and try to make. Um, Try to more actively think about this. But I think a rant show would be nice. And I think right now my concept that I'm enjoying um, is sort of that evolution of Game Herster. Because I like the subtitle of Game Herster a lot. And I think the title was silly, and I like it. It has charm, but I don't think it's quite the vibe I want. Which is why I kind of like the idea of like Maddie Uncut, a Game and Gal's guide to video games and other things, or to life and games. Um, that's sort of where I'm conceptualizing right now, which is exciting for me because the two major goals of this concept are one, make something different and get to share my opinions and have the sort of tangents I would have on stream, have them a little more formally made and like a little more comprehensive for the viewer. Um, cool. Yep. Just the one jiggy I can't make. And then also do something different with my channel in the sense that here on stream I get crass. I can say the fuck word. I make sure my stream is marked in such a way that it warns people that I might say the fuck word. Admittedly, Twitch doesn't have a great system for that because Twitch, the only way I can do that is to mark it as it may contain excessive cursing, which I would not consider my cursing excessive. Two eggs, cool. But like I curse. Again, I can say the fuck word, so I mark it as such. But on my YouTube channel, in my Let's Plays, I have always made a rule for myself that I want to make the kind of content that I could watch growing up. And admittedly, I didn't always watch the content I was supposed to watch growing up. A lot of my childhood content I loved was actually relatively crass, and I wore headphones pretty religiously to make sure my parents didn't know. But like, I don't think I need to swear to be entertaining or funny. I don't think that it's a necessity to be crass to be funny, or to be crass to be entertaining. And as such, I've always stuck to my guns and will continue to in Let's Play content. I'm not changing that. Even though I want to do something different this year, that's not something I want to do differently. I will always, when recording Let's Plays, be focusing on trying not to swear, and I will always censor any slip-ups, which are few and far between at this point. I'm pretty habitually trained to have that filter. Part of why I don't stream a lot or swear a lot on stream is because, like, when I'm in commentating content mode, I am pretty good about not swearing like a sailor. In casual conversation, I definitely curse more than I do in content creation. The room we're about to go in has the entrance to that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fall in from a floor above through a base, but I enjoy that speedrun strat where you climb up Brentilda's arm and fall through to grab that, instead of falling through from the floor above directly down. But yeah. Sorry, focus. Content creation, I don't swear a lot, because I don't think I need to. I don't think that's necessary. However, I do think cursing can be beneficial. I am not a firm anti-cursing kind of person. I actually firmly believe that cursing can do a lot to show emphasis, passion, and at times an understanding of something. You know, like um, at the end of the day, a how fucking dare you will have more impact than a how dare you. You know? Um, no, which switch for me, stewardess. Um, get that jiggy in advance. Sorry. But you know, like there are times where cursing is acceptable. You know, I think cursing can be used for emphasis and for valid and valuable parts of conversation and speech. Um, you know, despite what people say about it making you seem unintelligent, I think it is a sign of understanding and passion when done properly. And I would like to be able to do that in some content. So that's part of why I'm leaning towards the naming concept of Maddie Uncut, a gaming gal's guide to games or to life in games. You know, is because I would love to have a show where, you know, at the beginning of the episode is like, hey, I know the Pizza Lover 346 thing is that I am generally pretty family friendly because I like making family friendly content. That's why I have no plans to start cursing up a storm or cursing in my Let's Plays. Is because I like having Let's Plays that I can show to a general audience. You know, I can say go watch my Let's Plays, and like you know if you're not into games and stuff, you might not like the Let's Plays because they're Let's Plays. But like you know, I don't have to worry about people seeing that and thinking differently of me beyond thinking I'm a nerd, which I am a nerd. It's gonna come out anyway. Look at me. Look at this. Do I look like not a nerd to you? I'm a nerd. No, that's not a debate. Um, so you know, like it's a-okay. But then I would like to be able to have people pull up Maddie Uncut and have a screen at the beginning that's like, hey, heads up. This is uncut, raw Madeline. I'm gonna curse sometimes. I'm gonna get fired up about things. I'm gonna really get down to brass tacks. You know, and sometimes that means saying I fucking hate something. Or that something is bullshit. Or asinine. You know, like it means that sometimes I'm gonna say a no-no word. And that's okay. But I want to be able to have that, you know? That's sort of the concept with Maddie. Is that I want it to be the spot where I can have my fired up little rants about, you know, why Dark Souls doesn't appeal to everyone, why there's no right way to have fun, why I think live service is bullshit, you know, like, whatever the fuck I want. And I think that's my something different. That's my resolution. So, expect too cool to be a nerd is still one of the worst insults you've ever received. That's awesome. Also, hi Lovey, I see you. Polyanasis with your little hand heart. Let me give you a little hand heart. I love you. But yeah, so expect that in 2024. I don't want to firmly say like, oh, by summer or something, because I don't know. Frankly, I don't know how ambitious this is. I've never done something quite like it. So like it could turn out to take a really long time to make this. But I need to change something about content creation because I love doing it. I'm not giving it up. It's way too fun. It's a huge part of who I am and something I love and a great creative outlet. It's good for my mental health. It's important to me. But I know that I want to change it up. And I think Matty Uncut, that evolution of Game Herster is the way. Oh no, I've been perceived. Yeah, you've been perceived, my dear. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm at. We're talking about New Year's resolutions, by the way, love. I mentioned that you've got a really cool one about trying new sweets, if I remember. You can feel free to say what it is more precisely. Um, we're like halfway through this game already. I'm realizing there's 9 levels and we are in level 5. Oopsies. And I know the last 4 levels get longer. Like, levels don't get shorter. We're not gonna beat this game in like 2 streams. Well, 2 streams probably, but if the next stream I do pushes it on length, but like we're not, we're not gonna do it. Like then, if we beat it in 2 streams, it's not because it'll fit into 2 hours squarely. Any Sir Slushes left, or is that all? That's all. Awesome. We're gonna go up east. You have a cool one, yeah. You want to try a new sweet every month. You tried vanilla chai tea this month. Hell yeah. But yeah, we were talking about how my New Year's resolution is I want to do something different in content creation because this year is my 9th year on YouTube. I've been doing Let's Play content on YouTube since 2015. And not all of that content is still available to watch. I think the oldest thing you can watch is from maybe 7 or 8 years ago, which is still relatively old. But all of it's just been Let's Play, and I'm tired of banging my head up against the wall. I didn't decide that resolution until a couple days ago, though. And now I'm conceptualizing an evolution of an old concept that Papa Rowe played a part in. There was an old concept, Game Herster, a game and gal's guide to video games and more, or game history, I forget exactly. Which, realistically, some of the topics that were going to be for that show, like history of Crash Bandicoot, Stop and Swap, etc., are probably going to appear on Matty Uncut, because it's the kind of shit I talk about. But Matty Uncut just lets me also, it doesn't restrict me as much. So I can also go on tangents and, talk about things that I'm really, fired up about. And again, the big one, say the fuck word, because that's a thing I do. And I enjoy making, family content, I would call it. I enjoy making art without, cursing, because I think you can be intelligent and adult without cursing. But also, it's good for emphasis sometimes. That was the whole tangent. I don't think I have anything else to say about that other than, yeah, expect it sometime this year. I'm not going to put a hard deadline on myself. It is a New Year's resolution after all. But know that it's in my mind. And it's being worked on. It's a real concept. I haven't forgotten about it. All that good stuff. Yes, I got the presents. You thought the snowman was a big cat? Yeah. The big snowman in the middle of Freezy Peaks. Freezy Peak is in fact a snowman. He's a regular old humanoid snowman. Go. Yeah. Another Jiggy down here for me to collect. Yeah. Did I get the notes on the top of the hat? Did somebody watching pay attention enough to notice? Otherwise, I'm gonna have to climb back up there and check. And frankly, I really don't want to, but I will if I have to. Because there's notes around the top of the hat where we grabbed a Jiggy and fought an ice cube. And I just can't recall if I grabbed them. Obviously, we need them because I'm going for 100%. So, let me know. That's right, he's not. Is it transformation time? It might be. It's backflip up here time, but I need to be able to backflip up there. Come on, it's finicky because of the angle of the chimney. And I need it not to. Thank you. Once built a snowcat. It was huge. Snowcat? Dude, tell me about your snowcat. Well, I think about Jiggies I need to get. Race with Boggy. Waza. Jinjo. Is there another Jiggy for in Waza's cave? No. It's Waza, Race with Boggy, Boggy's kids, Jinjo's, second Race with Boggy that I can't do. So yeah, it's transformation time. We'll run and return the presents because we can. I'm gonna look at that snowman. I'm curious. Big dopey eyes and stuff. We'll fly over this way. Big broom and a top hat. Okay, all the features of a good snowman. Buttons and all that. Let's see. Big enough for me and my dad to sit on like a motorcycle. It was in middle school. That's crazy. You built a snowcat that you could sit, you could straddle. That's really awesome, actually. Standing on the table, so I get the Jiggy during the cutscene. Cool. Yeah, so now it's just walrus stuff I need to do in this level. That's really awesome. Kudos for the snowcat. Maybe, yes? What the hell was I talking about? Great question, Abby. I have no idea. What if I told you? Okay. Waiting on stream so we can go 90 together. I would tell you that well, first of all, that's adorable, yeah, as Paparo astutely pointed out with their awe. Um, I would then tell you that don't fret because we've hit our 2 hour mark. So I'm just finishing this world because if I don't finish this world this stream and I turn off the console, I'm gonna have to next stream recollect all the Jinjos and notes, and that's gonna be harder to do when the Jiggies aren't naturally guiding me through places that have those notes. So, Tigger says hi. He's affectionate because we're sick. Fair enough. Hi, Tigger. I love him too. Um, but yeah, so when we finish Freezing Peaks, we're probably gonna end, which is fine because even during Banjo Week, that's usually what I do. Usually, I stick around 2 hours for the first Banjo stream or the first stream. Try to push it through the end of Banjo-Kazooie, even if that takes a couple extra hours, and then push it through Tui as much as I can because Tui is long. It's usually what I do. So, for Banjo-Thon, I don't know if we'll do that. We might mostly stick to regular 2 hour streams. Just because, again, Banjo-Thon is not on the time scale of a week. It's just the regular stream schedule is Banjo-Kazooie games. And this is not an annual thing. He moves so silly. The walrus does move so silly. He literally like flops. Anyway, we're gonna race sleds with a polar bear, and we're gonna sandbag hard. Because he rubber bands, which basically means that Boggy's speed changes based on how the player is doing in the race. If you're losing to him, he gradually slows down, and if you're winning, he gradually speeds up. And he can go speeds that you physically cannot, so you can't catch up to him. So if I blast ahead of him too much, he'll wind up blasting ahead of me at such a speed and so far ahead that I won't be able to catch him before the end of the race. And even if that's not the case, it'll make the race way harder than if I just sandbag. If I spend the first chunk of the race just keeping myself behind him, he'll go unimaginably slow. I am letting go of the control stick on multiple occasions. Like, I am stopping moving entirely through multiple of these gates so he stays slow. And then on the last couple gates, I'm gonna just fucking blast past him. Right about. Ta-da! And you can see he's already speeding up to catch me, so. The true fan, Nightbot. Nightbot's always here. Always plug in the Discord. But yeah. What was I talking about before I explained that? I was talking about, oh, the walrus moves really funny. Look at him go. He flops on his belly and pulls himself with his little flippers. Cute. Talking about something before it. Oh yes, Banjo-Thon this is not a new annual event. I want to clarify. Blasting through Banjo-Kazooie and Tui on the regular stream schedule, uninterrupted, is not going to be an annual event. We already have Banjo Week. Banjo Week is my annual event celebrating the Bear and Bird, spurred on originally by their inclusion in Smash Bros. Like that's my suddenly I stream every day and I'm playing the Banjo games and it's really fun. Like that's where you get the bulk of your Banjo-Kazooie content. But because 2023 did not have a Banjo Week, it almost did. I began streaming a Banjo Week. We played exactly one day, one play session, And I ended that stream with like, "Oh, see you guys tomorrow. I'm so excited for Banjo Week." And then my house flooded, and we never came back to it, if you recall. So Banjo-Thon is firmly to make up. Like that is what I am doing. Is I am doing this at the beginning of 2024 to try to get some good omens going. And I gotta hit the witch switch. Don't let me forget. Um, and try to make up for the lack of the annual Banjo Week in 2023. We could cosplay them. We could. It would be pretty cute. So that's what this is. This is Banjo-Thon. Banjo Week will happen during August, so I'll play through these games twice this year, which is exciting. I like these games. Banjo-Thon is an August thing where I stream every single day and play the games. It's awesome. It's non-stop Banjo, but I figured I should make up for 2023's lack with this. So, that's what this is. This is not a second Banjo Week. I definitely don't need 2 Banjo Weeks every year. I'm okay with just one. But, I need my banjo fix. Oops. Because I really like this game. Excuse me. I cannot get that witch switch jiggy yet. Which is really silly to me, actually, now that I think about it. Because we grabbed the Gobi's Valley witch switch jiggy earlier, that sarcophagus that I jumped on the nose of and rolled at and got a jiggy for no reason. You're supposed to hit the witch switch inside of Gobi Valley, or Gobi's Valley, and that opens the sarcophagus and you do a backflip and get the jiggy that's floating in by the head. But the little roll I did clips Banjo through just enough to then get the jiggy before it's open. So we don't have to hit the witch switch. Also, I don't know if I clearly said it, but Levy, I would love to cosplay Banjo-Kazooie with you. Check this out. It's the Ice Key. There it is. Abandoned feature of Stop and Swap. You were supposed to be able to collect that and 6 other eggs in this game. And then when Banjo-Tooie came out, you were supposed to be able to turn on your N64 and load your file with those collected, pull out Banjo-Kazooie and put in Banjo-Tooie. Because the N64, when you pull out a cartridge, it holds things from the game, from the cartridge, the game you were playing, in memory. Oh, I know I can do that. You're not. No. I was supposed to do that as a walrus, and I didn't. Did I? Wait. Oh, I did. Okay. Cool. Then yeah, we can just perish and leave because I can't get the 10th Jiggy in this level or Bubble Loop until I get a move from Gobi's Valley. But yeah, Stop and Swap. The N64 holds things in its RAM for 10 seconds after the cartridge is removed. It holds data from the cartridge for 10 seconds. And the idea was in those 10 seconds, you'd switch out the cartridge, and you would transfer those items. They would make sure to put in the space that the console holds onto, so that when you put in Tooie, it loads from its RAM those items and goes, what do I do with these? That was the idea. And then around the time that Kazooie was supposed to release, they released the fun color variants, or the Funko colors, the Funtastic color variants. I forget what they're called of the N64. Which are the ones that are clear plastic, but they're semi-transparent. They're the Vensedge. Hello, welcome to the stream. I don't think I have the followage command, but thank you for tuning in. How you doing? What games you been playing recently? Those are the icebreakers. Unfortunately, we're almost done, so make sure to drop a follow and check out the Discord so you can be notified of the next Banjo stream, as we're doing Banjo-Thon. Streaming through Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie. Right. Focus. Stop and swap. Fun color variants. They're the ones with the clear, colorful plastic. So like it's green, but you can see through. Is the best way I have found to describe it. To activate my cheat while I talk. Usually I do them all in one fell swoop before the final boss. Actually, yeah, that's how I'm gonna do that. So I'm just gonna sit here and rant. Tigger got the zoomies, that's awesome. But those new consoles, the new transparent plastic ones, they also updated the hardware, the internals of the Nintendo 64, where the RAM only held data for 1 second instead of the 10 that N64s like mine, the black ones, did. Which makes it really hard to switch. Have you tried to switch a cartridge in 1 second, less than 1 second? You'd have to have it lined up and slam it in and hope that it reads correctly. And that is liable for the N64 to get broken, the cartridge to get broken, or for it to be so hard to do that it makes the gimmick and the feature inaccessible anyway. All around bad, not the desired outcome. So they scrapped it, and the ice key is one of the few things that you can see. Shark Food Island, you can see it. It has a sign that says Shark Food Island, and it sank into the water in Treasure Trove Cove. For Stop and Swap, it's supposed to have risen up so you could go in it, but it's still there. In Mad Monster Mansion, there's a keg in the basement that has like steel beams and an X across it. In Stop and Swap, you would have broken that open and gotten an egg. And the ice key, the ice blocking that door wasn't there. You would just walk in behind the Jinjo and grab the ice key. So it's one of the few visible remnants of what that collectible was, because you can see the ice key spinning, taunting you. It is really cool. It is really, really cool. Stop and Swap is one of gaming's most famous cut features, mysteries. It's a solved mystery now, but we know most everything there is to know about it. But it's really cool. I love it. Anyway, it's been 2 hours. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. We actually went over. And we did a lot. In this stream, we got 6 Jiggies in Gruntilda's lair. That's 6 Witch Switch Jiggies. We got everything in Mumbo's Mountain. Everything in Treasure Trove Cove. Everything in Clanker's Cavern. Everything we could in Bubble Gloop Swamp. We have one more thing to go back to next stream after we finish Gobi's Valley. And everything we could get to in Freezeezy Peak. We have one more thing to get after we go to Gobi's Valley. And, of course, we got everything in Spiral Mountain. There's our totals. We spent, a little under 2 hours playing the game, which doesn't make much sense. That counter's pretty off. But we got 54 Jiggies, 16 empty honeycombs, and 500 musical notes. Hot Witch Lady, sure, we can watch the game over cutscene. Usually I turn off the N64 instead of letting it play out, or just hold the start button to skip it. In the spirit of showing off Banjo, we can show that when you quit the game, when you save and quit, it plays the game over sequence in both games. In Tooie, it's a little nicer because the game over sequence in Tooie is just text that says game over and Gruntilda's laugh. In this game, it's a whole cutscene. This also plays when you run out of lives, but it's not very likely that I'm going to run out of lives There's your hot witch lady. Um, but yeah, that's it. We've had a really long stream. It's been a really fun stream. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I hope you learned something new. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. I hope you're excited for Banjo-Thon. She is pretty. Um, Gosh, yeah, no, I genuinely do hope you're excited for Banjo-Thon. I'm excited. Um, oh, Tracker's not here. No, Tracker's not here. Lovey, pick another stuffy and they'll get a hug. Another stuffy. As long as they're here, they'll get a hug. But Tracker's at college. Somebody had to protect the dorm while I was gone. Okay, Eeyore. Okay, you got it. Eeyore gets a hug. Tracker's protecting the dorm while I'm not there. Oh. If you like video games, if you like voice acting, if you like singing, if you like hugging stuffies, big hug for Eeyore. Oh, back to the bed. Mwah. So yeah, if you like voice acting, singing, video games, hugging stuffies, etc., I'm your gal. Just for any of those lurkers out there, I gotta list those. Yeah, get ready for more Banjo-Kazooie. Tentatively, I'm saying Saturday. No, you're thinking of Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot's sister is voiced by Draculara. 2D is not voiced by Draculara. That'd be really cool, but no, you're thinking of Coco Bandicoot. That's okay. We can do Crash Bandicoot sometime on stream so you can share that. Good trivia. Yes. Saturday, I will either still be here or I will be back in the dorm. Because it's looking like there's going to be a snowstorm Friday into Saturday, which might impede my ability to travel back to the dorm and keep me here till Sunday. So you may get another stream with this so-so quality. You know, the lack of nice microphone and the flashlight lighting, where I'm still kind of dimly lit and kind of bad looking. Or we might be back at the dorm. We'll still play Banjo on my N64. It'll still be good. We'll still have a great time doing it. We'll probably dip into Tui for a second if I am at the dorm. We'll find out. But yes, there should be a stream. Provided I'm not on the road during stream time, there should be a stream. If I end up, if we end up deciding that it's too snowy for me to go back, I'll make sure to unpack the N64 and stream. The laptop is set up in such a way that I could stream relatively easily. But that's the deal, is I should stream Saturday, unless there's some really weird, strenuating circumstances where I'm on the road at 8 p.m. We'll stream Saturday, and we'll maybe finish Banjo-Kazooie. Maybe we'll just put in, 2 hours worth of time plus whatever to finish off whatever level I'm on. We'll find out. Anyway, I've talked your ear off enough. I've done my due diligence. That's stream. I hope you enjoyed. Console's off. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy the song Pizza Power. I'm gonna go to bed with my partner. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm gonna call them as soon as I'm done streaming. I love you all and good night. Y'all are fantastic. And I love you all. Bye-bye. Good night. Y'all are awesome.